Welcome back to the Community Review on Hot 92.3. I'm Josefa Salinas, your host. Well, people do often say this about me. Mama is a bad mother. Shut your mouth. You do not want her talking about you. Well, even though they say that about me often, we're here to talk about somebody else they're talking about. Her name is Fee King, and the play is Mama Was a Bad Mother. Shut your mouth. It's an amazing play. It's back. It's coming to the Actors Gang Theater on Venice Boulevard in Culver City. The runs start in June, and they run June 12, 13, 14, and 15, 19, 20, 21, and 22, 26, 27, 28, and 29. It's an amazing show. She's in the house to talk to us about it this morning. Good morning, Fee. You bad mother.
Shut your mouth, Josefa. Hey, Josefa. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it is wonderful to have you here. And, we're just going to sit down here and just tell the audience all about this play and about you. First of all, let us know a little bit about you. Where were you born? Where'd you grow up? So that we have an idea of where the inspiration from this play came from.
Okay, well, my legal government name is Felicia Renee King, but don't tell the FBI. I was born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska, and I've been out here in California for about 15 years. Lived a lot of places, Colorado, Texas, and California has become home, and I'm very happy to be here. But the show takes place in Nebraska, mainly Nebraska, Denver, and Houston.
So why this play? What is it about? Are you a mom?
I'm a pet parent. Her name is Duchess. She's a girl.
Okay.
So no, I am not a mother. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's the play all about? Talk to us about this.
This show, Mama Was a Bad Mother. Shut your mouth. And I'm so happy that you said it that way because, it has some flavor to it, some energy. This show is... It takes place in Omaha, Nebraska, 1982. It's a young girl's untimely coming of age amidst her mother's weekend house party. So this is a story of my untimely coming of age amidst a lot of things that were going on in our house. And I never had any intention of ever writing about my life because it didn't seem interesting to me. What happened, though, is when I moved to California, I really wanted to mend my relationship with my mother. It seemed like from the gate, it was just tumultuous. There was a lot of love, but I didn't know how to show it. I didn't know how to receive it. There was a lot of resentment towards her, a lot of judgment, a lot of misunderstanding. And I was angry. I was angry all the time. People would see me smiling, but underneath there was so much heaviness. And I didn't know how to channel it, how to heal it. And so I took a class with Iona Morris, who is brilliant, her writing workshop. And from that workshop came this show. And it's been so healing and cathartic for me. And it's been fun because I get to take a look back now that I'm in a different place and be able to laugh about some things, be able to channel a lot of my family members. And I realize that I come from a really funny family. Like so many of them should have been comedians. My mama should have been an actress because she's brilliant.
Now, where do you think the problem came between you and your mom? Because I know we've talked about this a lot on my show, are the female dynamic, the situation between mothers and daughters. At some point, there's always some kind of conflict somewhere. It may be resolved quickly. Sometimes it lasts a lifetime. Sometimes it goes on for a few years. I know I had many issues with my mother growing up that just recently were really put into a whole new place that allows me to truly enjoy her as the mom she is.
Yes.
And I think that for me, the big problem lied with myself looking for the mother I wanted and what I thought she should be instead of accepting her for the woman that she is. And that might be a big dynamic in mother-daughter relationships. So talk to me about yours.
Josefa, that you nailed it. I mean, you answered the question for me. When you asked earlier if I was a parent, the reason why up to this date is because I didn't know the terminology or how to define it, but I knew that there was I now know it's a transgenerational curse or behavior that gets handed down from one generation to the other. And I knew, or I believed, that if I didn't mend my relationship with my mother, then I would have a child and the cycle would repeat, because there was so much just anger. And I believe my mother was very angry. She and I think when you're angry and you have children, especially girls, and you don't know how to channel it and you don't get help, then you take it out on your kids, not on purpose, but you do. And I think that's what happened with her. And because I was the firstborn, I bear the brunt of it. My sister did as well. But we got through it. And that's what this show is about coming out on the other side victoriously and not living your life as a victim, because I could have easily, played the victim role for a lot longer than I did. And so does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
We made it through, and it better late than never. We did get some closure, and my last 3 years with her was beautiful. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, that's really good. And I'm very thankful myself as well for having a newfound relationship with my mom. But it's so interesting, that dynamic that comes into play, because it goes far beyond mothers and daughters and goes into this whole dynamic, I think, that we have as women.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the big things in my girls program, How to Be a Girl, that we really work with these young women, is helping them understand that many of their difficulties that they have really lie, number one, within themselves, but number two, with the pre-programmed idea that society and the media has given us, that women have to compete against each other for the very basic things of acceptance and friendship.
Yes.
And that's a level that men never compete on. They compete in sports. They compete in things like that. They don't compete with each other. They don't look at the next guy and go, "Ooh, what am I going to wear to school today? Because so and so might have on this." They just don't do that, because they don't even think on that level.
Yeah.
But girls, I see it like in the first grade, and it's so sad that in first grade they're already competing with each other for a little boy's attention.
But the good news is that it can be reprogrammed, because it's just a story that we've been told and then we bought into. And that's why I do this show, is because it's my way of giving back and helping young girls as well as boys. Because so many men have come up to my show and said, "Fee, I've experienced so many of the things that you've experienced. It's just that I'm a woman, so I'm telling the story from a woman's perspective. And I was that little girl, so I'm very passionate about just helping young girls see where they are right now is just a moment in time, and with different tools and reprogramming, you can get through it. Because so often we get stuck in that moment and we think this is it, and then that's when horrible things happen, like suicide, because they can't see past that moment, and it's just a moment. You will get through it. Because obviously, you did, I did, millions of women have.
We make it through.
Yes, we do.
Talk to me about what you think were give me two of the most difficult things that you went through as a child.
The two most difficult things I went through as a child was being pregnant at 12. And I've never said that out loud. And I think being molested by my mother's boyfriend. Those were the two most difficult.
And that happens more often than people realize, is the molestation that happens to young girls.
Yes.
And I know it's a difficult topic, and people get uncomfortable when they hear women talk about being molested. But it is amazing when we have our private conversations, which this just happens to be a private public conversation at the moment.
Yes.
That how many women are sitting there in the audience saying to themselves, "That was me too." And they never said anything.
Yeah.
They never told anybody. I know I certainly didn't, because it was a family member. And you didn't want that, so many other things come into play that, you don't want the person to get hurt. It didn't happen again. there's so many things
So many,
with
yeah.
molestation that happen. So many reasons why people don't say anything,
Mm-hmm.
but it happens more often than people realize.
It does, and it's one of those things where I don't like to use the word shouldn't, but it shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't, especially in this day and age with the various forms of communication and outlets. It should not be so commonplace, and girls and women should not, like I am here today, still a little embarrassed, and I feel a little some kind of way, 20 something years later. That shouldn't still be happening.
Well, it's unfortunate that girls are somehow made to or to believe that somehow they're responsible for it. I mean, there's
Absolutely.
no way that at 7 years old, I was responsible for an older man, wanting to stand there and be close to me and touch me. That's
Right.
There's no way at 7 years old I was responsible
No.
for that. But you're made to feel like you are.
Right.
So I think that having plays like yours allows us to maybe have conversations
Yes.
and realize that we're not alone,
Mm-hmm.
that all kinds of things happen, because I'm sure there's some very funny things that happened in your life that
So
helped
many.
mold who you are. And that's what this play is all about. Now, I know that this play has gotten a lot of accolades. Let's talk about that.
It has. I'm so grateful. The show, 2005, won a couple solo competitions. FEMV, was nominated for FFMMT Award. I think that's Fashion Music Television Award. In 2000, I was nominated in 2013, just last year, and it did really well at the National Black Theater Festival in North Carolina. It was 3 of my 5 shows were sold out before we even arrived. That was huge. That was just so huge. So yeah, it's the show has gotten some really positive press.
And how does that make you feel when people come and see it and then they write about it and talk about it? And is that gratifying for you?
It is. I'm never tied to the end result of the show because I know that the show is not about that. I'm grateful that people appreciate it. I'm grateful that people have written positively about it. Because, your feelings get tied to it. People don't like what you do in your story. That hasn't happened. So I'm very honored and grateful. And I'm just looking forward to sharing it with people and hearing what the young people think and what they're getting out of it past coming to the show. Like, what's happening in their lives past, experiencing the show. And that's why I've teamed up with Peace for Kids nonprofit.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, I know a portion of the proceeds from your show go to a nonprofit that you're passionate about. So talk to me about Peace for Kids.
I'm so excited about Peace for Kids, Josefa. So many times people have said, why don't you start your own nonprofit? And I've been really clear on that is not what I'm supposed to do with this show because I know what it takes to run a nonprofit and for it to be successful and really impact the kids as opposed to just saying, oh, I have a nonprofit. So I wanted to find a nonprofit that resonated with me, that got what I'm doing, where I can support them and use my show as a vehicle to not only raise their social awareness, but also to help do fundraising. So my investor reached out to Peace for Kids and we had a meeting and instantly they were on board. I was on board. And I love what they're doing in Compton Watts. It's an organization, nonprofit, that helps young people who are aging out of the foster care system.
Oh, critical point.
Right. And one of the things I realized is although I wasn't in that system, the only difference between me and those kids was my stuff wasn't reported. That's the only difference. And I'm grateful because I wanted to be at home with my mother and my sister, my cousins, and have that experience. I have no regrets. However, I know some kids weren't as fortunate as I am. And so I want to give back and be able to empower those kids because they're about to head off to either college, get a job, the military, and there's still tools that they need. So the show is in bed with Peace for Kids. I'm so excited about that. So check them out.
Do they have a website that we can go to?
They do. It's Peace for the number 4, KIDS as in Sam.org. And you can also find them on my website, the official fee, F as in Frank, EE, like I'm going to charge you a fee, King, KING.com.
Very cool. Again, the shows are at the Actors Gang Theater, 9070 Venice Boulevard in Culver City. Show times are, what are the show times? Are they evening shows?
That's a great question. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 p.m. And then Sunday, we have a matinee at 2:30 p.m. So June 14th is our VIP red carpet opening night reception. We're going to have a hot party afterwards with a DJ, food, and some libations for the people. And then June 12th is our youth night. So any organizations out there, if you have youth, we want you there. And the 13th is our Delta Soror night. So I'm excited.
Okay, very good. It starts on June 12th, ends on June 29th. All the dates, times, and locations will be up on my webpage at hot923.com.
Yay.
Keyword Josefa. Fee, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
coming in and telling us all about this play. I've heard so much about it. I'm so excited. I will be there that opening first weekend, and I'm going to bring my daughter, and we'll come together and bring some other friends. We're just going to make it a girls' night out.
Yay.
And come out and definitely spread the word. Again, it's Mama Was a Bad Mother. Shut your mouth. It's an amazing one-woman play. You will absolutely love it. Bring your girlfriends, bring your husband, bring your significant other. Just come out and check it out. It's a wonderful play. You'll enjoy the night, and it's truly, truly something to see. Go to feeking.com. The official feeking.com for all the information about Fee and the organization that she has chosen to be the recipient of some of her proceeds, Peacemakers, Peace for Kids. All right, Fee, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Josefa. I wanted to say also that the show is going to Scotland. We leave August 5th, so I'm really excited about that.
Oh, well, maybe we'll just all go to Scotland then and see it there.
You're all invited. Come over the pond.
There's more on the way on the Community Review Hot 92.3.